Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today is Monday, 18th July 2016. We will start with our prayers. Narayanam namaskritya
Narayanam
नमस्कृत्य
naram chaiva narottamam
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
devim saraswatim vyasam
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासां
tato jayamudirayet
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्
nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu
नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु
nityam bhagavata sevaya
Nityam
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
bhagvatya uttama shloke
Bhagavatya Tamashloke
bhaktir bhavati naistiki.
Bhakti Bhavati
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी
Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
So we are into 15th chapter and we finished half of it last week. So we'll be taking the second half of the 15th chapter. So as our practice is, I have chosen one shloka from that chapter and we'll just chant that. This is the first canto, chapter 15, shloka number 51. Ya shraddhaya tad bhagavat priyanam
Priyanam
Pando sutanam iti samprayanam
सुदानामिति संप्रयाणम्
Shanotya alam swasyate yananam pravitram
शृणोत्य अलम् स्वच्छयनम् पवित्रम्
Vitram
Labdva haro bhaktim upayati siddhim
लब्ध्वा हरो भक्तिम् उपैति सिद्धिम्
Siddhim
Ya shraddhaya tat bhagavat priyanam
यः श्रद्धयेत भगवत्प्रियाणाम्
Pando sutanam iti samprayanam
पाण्डुसुतानामिति संप्रयाणम्
Shanotya alam swasyate yanam pavitram
शृणोत्य अलम् स्वच्छयनम् पवित्रम्
Labdva haro bhaktim upayati siddhim.
लब्ध्वा हरो भक्तिम् उपैति सिद्धिम्
Bhakti Bihari Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
1 minute, 1 minute.
Yashadhayetad bhagavat priyana.
1 minute, Prabhu.
Okay.
15th chapter, 51 shloka, Mataji. Okay.
Yashadhayetad bhagavat priyanam.
भगवत्प्रियाणाम्
Pando suta nam iti samprayanam.
Iti samprayanam.
Shranatya alam swasya yanam pavitram.
Shanotya alam swasyate
पवित्रम्
Labdaharam bhaktim upeti siddhim.
लब्ध्वा हरं
हरो भक्तिम् उपैति
Siddhim
Thank you. Yaha,
Yaha
anyone who
anyone who
Shraddhaya,
Shraddhaya,
with devotion.
with
with
devotion.
devotion.
Etat,
Etat,
this.
This
this,
Bhagavat Priyanam,
Bhagavad
Bhagavad Priyanam,
of those who are very dear to the personality of Godhead.
of those who are very dear to the personality of Godhead.
personality of Godhead.
Pando,
Pandu
Pandu,
of Pandu.
of Pandu.
Sutanam,
Sutana,
of the sons.
of the sun.
Iti,
Iti
Iti,
thus.
thus
Samprayanam,
Samprayanam,
departure for the ultimate goal.
departure for the ultimate goal.
goal.
Shranoti,
Shranoti
hears.
here
Alam,
alam
only.
only
Only.
Swasatyayanam,
Swasatyanam,
good fortune.
good
fortune.
Pavitram,
pavitra
Pavitram,
perfectly pure.
perfectly pure.
Labdva,
Labdha,
by obtaining.
by obtaining.
Harau,
Harau,
unto the Supreme Lord.
unto the Supreme Lord.
Bhaktim,
Bhakti,
devotional service.
devotion
devotional service.
Upayati,
Upayati,
gains.
Gains.
Siddhim,
siddhi
Siddhim,
perfection.
perfection.
Translation. The subject of the departure of the sons of Pandu for the ultimate goal of life, back to Godhead, is fully auspicious and is perfectly pure. Therefore, anyone who hears this narration with devotional faith certainly gains the devotional service of the Lord, the highest perfection of life. The subject of the departure
the
Subject of the departure
of the sons of Pandu
of the
of
sons
the sons of Pandu
for the ultimate goal of life,
for the
for the ultimate goal of life,
back to Godhead,
back to God
back to Godhead,
is fully auspicious
is fully
is
auspicious
fully auspicious
and is perfectly pure.
and it
and is perfectly pure.
is pure.
Therefore,
Therefore,
anyone who hears this narration
anyone who hears this narration
Narration
with devotional faith
with devotional faith
certainly gains the devotional service
certainly gains the devotional service
of the Lord,
of the Lord,
the highest perfection of life.
the highest perfection
highest
of life.
life.
This is actually the last shloka of the 15th chapter, and this is making us happy by telling us that, okay, those who are hearing this now are going to have very good progress in their devotional service, which is the highest perfection. Sutta Goswami declares that the highest perfection of life is devotional service. And then what is the ultimate goal? It says, ultimate goal is to go back to Godhead. So both are achieved by this process. So please mute yourself and we'll go to the 15th chapter. I don't know why this is coming. Okay. So, if you remember, Arjuna was telling the reason for his being so morose. But happily, one thing happened at the end of his narration. He was remembering Krishna, all that he did with Krishna. All his personal pastimes with Krishna and how Krishna helped all the Pandavas and everything. But then finally he remembered the instructions of Krishna, because he was one fortunate soul who got the instructions from Krishna directly. So he remembered that, and that made him peaceful. Because if we hear the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, then it is definitely going to help us. All those who have been studying Bhagavad Gita, more than studying, those who are implementing the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, we can see that their life is successful. So this way, Arjuna made himself successful. We know that also, right? But first, because it's all said and done, some relationships, when they stop or they end, then there is a grief, some sadness. Although everything has been taught to him that the soul doesn't die, everything in all the Bhagavad Gita. But then still, for a while, because again, in the purports it is explained that Arjuna was actually not, regretting or something like that. But he was again posing as a human being and, trying to portray whatever a common human being feels when some separation is there. Actually, devotional services separation is supposed to be of a very high level. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, wanted to see that devotional service in separation of Radharani. And that's why he took the form of, Krishna took the form of Radharani and his devotee and came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So now Suta Goswami continues and he's saying that, although Arjuna was very, very close to Krishna, and he's always thinking of his lotus feet, but his mind now became very peaceful. And then he was free from any material contamination because he immediately realized all that he learned from Krishna. And then anybody who wants to progress, Suta Goswami is giving the formula that you just focus on the lotus feet of Krishna. There's one sannyasi in our society, and this is way back in 1998, when he visited Phoenix Temple. I was there in Arizona. And as long as he stayed there for 5-6 days, every day he was giving the class. And he was speaking always from the first 2 cantos. So one day I just asked him, Maharaj, when are we going to hear from you little more from the other chapters? He said, no, you will never. So I was like, what is this going on? Why Maharaj is saying that? And Maharaj said, Prabhupada told that this Srimad Bhagavatam is the personal incarnation of Krishna. When we say personal, means he has all the transcendental bodily forms of Krishna. So he said these first 2 chapters are his lotus feet. That's what Prabhupada explained. So he said, moment I heard that, I decided that I will always remain in these first 2 chapters because they're the lotus feet of Krishna. And he says, I don't want to go up because I'm not qualified. Of course, he was very humble and he says, I'm not qualified. But he done very, very intense studies on these 2 cantos, He said, I will not go beyond these. That's all. I love these 2 cantos. So, although it appeared that Arjuna forgot his instructions, but Suta Goswami says that's all not the case. Actually he knows everything. He's a realized soul now. So sometimes we have this duality in our mind. What is good, what is bad? Because in material world it's always there. There's a good and bad, and there is in between. Like they say, black and white and gray. It's not totally white, totally black, but there's some gray areas. But then once you surrender to Krishna, then all those gray areas gone, and then you become free, because Krishna told him, if you remember, in Bhagavad Gita he said, rise above the three modes, Nistraya Gunya, and he follows, he just follows perfectly. So Arjuna has been declared that he is fit for liberation. He is a qualified candidate for liberation. So then he became quiet after that, He was absorbed in focusing on Krishna's lotus feet. So now Maharaj Yudhishthir, he is hearing that because Arjuna is telling everything, And then in his narration, Arjuna also talked about the Yadu dynasty finishing. Right? They just finished their earthly journey, and Krishna arranged for their journey back to home. So Yudhishthir Maharaj also got inspired by that. And he says, okay, it's time for me to also wind up this material body. And then when he decided like that, Kunti Mata also immediately decided with him that yes, the mother also decided, I will also wind up. So she also totally withdrew from the material activities. Of course, when we are doing that material activity in Krishna consciousness, then it is supposed to be spiritualized, right? But still, even whatever trace is there, because sometimes we are not able to do everything for Krishna, So sometimes we do some material activities also. So she just wound up everything, and she decided to fully concentrate on Krishna. And then Krishna had arranged for Yadu dynasty to go, because he thought that there will be a burden after he departs. They may start, bossing over others and thinking that, oh, I'm relative of Krishna and all that. So he had made all those arrangements, and he just, took care of them. And then he himself also wound up his Leela because his mission was accomplished. He has come on a mission. Remember he told that I will lighten the burden of earth, Mother Earth, by taking care of all these miscreants. And he has already done it. So here Suta Goswami says, like a magician, he makes things appear and disappear. Sometimes you see he's coming in a different body, different clothing, etc., etc., And then he just talks about this avatars, 24 avatars, there's Matsya and so on. He says, so he comes, Krishna not only changes the body as a human being, but he also comes as animal bodies. He accepts. But everything, all those things, every single body that he has is transcendent. So then, as Krishna decided to wind up his pastime, and he created a situation whereby, the atheists and the Mayavadis and all, they still think that, oh, Krishna is dead. Because, so he created a scene, the person comes and, shoots an arrow and so on and so forth. And the body is there. And so they say, oh, see, Krishna has a body like a human being, and then he's dead. So Acharya says, Krishna, this is a Krishna's trick to keep them also happy. Okay, you keep thinking like that. And for the devotees, they know that Krishna is not even born, so forget about his death. Right? So then now Kali is going to appear. Waiting in the wings. Dwapar Yuga is almost at the end. And some symptoms already we saw. Moment Krishna leaves, Yudhishthir Maharaj saw all those symptoms. We discussed that. So he is very, very intelligent person. So he knew that only now, before Kali comes, let me get away from here. I don't want to face that cheating and violence and the Kalaha part of the Kali. So he decided to leave the home like Dhritarashtra had decided. And he changed his dress. He got rid of all his, paraphernalia, his crown, and, he's the king. And then he wore some very, very ordinary torn clothes, just fit for very, very poor people who we see sometime walking on the roads or just sitting somewhere. But before going, he has some duties to complete, because he cannot just abandon the kingdom. He has to hand it over to a proper person before the ruling administration of the kingdom. So he chose his grandson, Parikshit Maharaj, he is the only one available anyway from the family. And then he also chose Vajra, son of Aniruddha, Krishna's grandson. As he chose him as king of Mathura, Shurasena. Then he performed one yajna called Prajapatya. And he decided to quit. That's all. So he just started going to the northern side, Himalayas. From there, it's all northern means Himalayas. And then he, like Dhritarashtra, he also, I'll just read that. It's interesting to how he left the body. He says then that he amalgamated all the sense organs into the mind. Then the mind into life, life into breathing, his total existence into the embodiment of the 5 elements, and his body into death. And then we are pure self, So he says that then as pure self, he became free from the material conception of life. So it's a tough process, because you must be totally spiritual by that time to even attempt that. Otherwise, our thoughts will always go to, oh my this, oh my that, I have to leave this and I have to leave that. And then sometimes we say, oh, a little more time, if I could get, I could have finished this, I could have finished that. But he just left it. He just merged all these 5 elements into nescience and then absorbed himself. And then Kunti also followed him like that, Before that, of course, like when he was going, he was almost like a deaf man. He was not, because you are, withdrawn yourself from all the material conceptions. So just like a madman, you just simply go, not knowing what is right, what is wrong, just simply walk and walk. And then on the way, he was just like that, nobody recognized him because he's not recognizable. He's in a disguise. Then his younger brothers, they also thought that, okay, time to wind up because the elder brother is already gone. So they all decided to follow in his footsteps, because they also, nobody, who would like to live in Kali Yuga? Now they had a choice. We don't have a choice. We have to take birth wherever, whatever situation, depending on our guna and karma of the previous life, So we are forced. And they sort of, somebody may say they committed suicide or something. No, they withdrew all the material elements slowly. They did not jump into some river or something, jump from some mountain. So they all focused on Krishna. And Krishna says, if you leave your body like that, then you don't come back. Even if you understand that Krishna is, in 2nd chapter he says, if you understand that my activities are transcendental, my birth is transcendental, then also you don't have to come back. And here the Pandavas, they are pure devotees. So they all attend the spiritual sky. And they're all, promoted to different planets. And then it's Vyasadeva, Suta Goswami also confirms that they went to Goloka Vrindavan. It cannot be attained, of course, by some ordinary people, like we know that only it is reserved only for devotees who are totally absorbed in Krishna Prema. So because Pandavas have purified themselves by association and by education and by knowledge, so they could attain that. And Vidura, he was also already there, so he left his body in Prabhasa. Prabhasa is a dham in Himalayas. And then because he was also absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna, he was received by Pitra Loka, the denizens of Pitra Loka, because he's expansion of Yamaraj, right? So he goes back to his original post. And then Draupadi, she saw her husbands. They even did not care for her, just they left simply because they decided to cut off all the relationship. Then what they did, she and Subhadra both followed their husbands. They also absorbed themselves, in totally in Krishna. So it's a very glorious departure, right? And then we read the shloka today, which says that those who hear this departure of Pandavas, this narration of their departure, will attain devotional service without any doubt. So this way the 15th chapter ends. Of course, there are different versions somewhere, people say there was a dog and this and that, and they went to, there are so many things. Some would say they are full of sin and all that, but we go by Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam declares them to be pure, and he says that they all attained planets of Krishna. Okay. So we'll stop here. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, comments, we can take it up. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhu. People says that Pandavas went to Swarga planet and all this. Then how we can answer them that situation? Because we just read that all day.
I just now said, that we go by Bhagavatam. Okay. Because there are, see, the thing is again, this is not a one-time story. Pandavas come every time Krishna comes, right?
Correct.
All this happens. So what happens is, different times, different things happen. So these Puranas are sometime, they don't go in chronological order. They just go from here to there, pick up from here, pick up from there, like that. So that's why I said, that's why I qualified my statement by saying that people say that, but we know that, see, either we accept them as devotees, and then if we accept them as devotees, then they have to go back to Godhead. Because even at the, Krishna says, at the end of your life, if you remember me, then I'll take you back, right? And here are the case that they are totally absorbed in Krishna. So what are the chances of their going to some heavenly planet like Swarga, which is useless? Devotees don't even, desire to go to Swarga Loka because they know that there will be more problem, because of the luxuries there. The chances of your forgetting Krishna are more than remembering Krishna. 10 times, Swarga Loka is 10 times better facilities than what we have here. Like here now, you are maybe sleeping on a 10-inch Dunlop pillow. There you have to get multiplied by 10, so imagine 100 feet of luxury. What will happen? Right? So we go by, we have been told that we have to follow 4 books. That's all. Instead of going into all this 4 Vedas, 18 Puranas, so many Upuranas, Akhyana, this, that, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, nectar of instruction, nectar of devotion. That's it. And then, of course, you want to do deep studies, then go to Chaitanya Charitamrita. Everything is available. You don't have to go to Shadadarshan. You don't have to go to, so many Vedanta Sutras, and because all the conclusion is what? Conclusion is what the Pandavas have shown by their example. And it didn't happen overnight. Like, as I said, you simply, you just hold your neck and, die. No. They slowly, gradually withdrew all their senses from the material world. It says here, they decided. That decided doesn't mean they acted upon immediately. They go. See, Yudhishthir Maharaj is going through the villages and towns and all, and then he reaches solitary place where he ultimately left the body.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, anybody else has any doubt, question, or you know something more? Because there's lot available on these subjects. Especially you go to Mayavadis and they will tell you so many things, because they want to put Krishna down. That Krishna is also not the Supreme Personality of God. Okay, sorry, somebody wanted to say something.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu, this is Karthik.
Yes, Karthik Prabhu.
In one of the Bhagavatam classes, you mentioned that we have had a relationship with Krishna back in Goloka Vrindavan, right?
You asked me that question.
Yeah.
I'm looking for my book, where I written all the real references.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get back to you.
Oh, sure, Prabhu. Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, anybody else has any question? Okay, then we'll